Hello guys, back again with the Al Rasta channel, and this time as always we will be back to talk about the best Donghua series, and of course, it is SwallowedStar. In the previous episode, before leaving for the headquarters of the virtual universe company, Luo Feng said goodbye to those closest to him. On the way, after 3 years of training, Luo Feng and the other genius participants finally arrived at the Primal Chaos City. At the same time, Luo Feng was faced with 52 tombstones, or chaos monuments, to choose from as the basis for his future training. After that, the geniuses gathered again and were faced with a gate guarded by 2 giant guards. Then, how did Luo Feng's training journey go? Okay, without further ado, let's jump right into the story. Luo Feng and the other geniuses were currently standing in front of the entrance gate of a place called the 9 Chaos Monument. It was said that each of the monuments inside was over 1 million eras old. So there are differences in the previous 52 monuments, guys. In conclusion, the monument room here is related to Luo Feng's previous selection of the monument in Primordial Chaos City. For the virtual universe society, as well as the entire human race in the universe, these monuments were priceless treasures. Therefore, Luo Feng and the others were expected to be able to understand the Chaos Monument they had chosen until they could attain enlightenment.
会记载着什么样的奥秘？这等古老存在。
Upon entering, Luo Feng, who could see that a ray of light was flying back and forth, felt even more curious as to what exactly was inside this ancient place. As the ray of light moved away from everyone, it instantly turned into stone monuments, changing the space and sending the geniuses to different places. Therefore, we will only focus on Luo Feng, who had decided to choose the Juyu Monument, or the 9 Chaotic Universes Monument. Inside the dark room, Luo Feng could see that there were 9 stone monuments with different image diagrams. At a glance, Luo Feng could see that there were images such as raindrops, animal images, and monsters. Those were the 3 images that were easy to guess, while the others had quite abstract and esoteric image forms. When one deeply understood these images, they were said to be able to reach the true peak of power. In order to deeply understand the images, Luo Feng had the help of the golden-horned behemoth's body and the demon killer's or Mosha's skin clone's body, as they were more sensitive to the law of origin. After observing with his 3 bodies, Luo Feng could only sense that the first 6 images contained the breath of law, and even then, it was still vague. As for the other 3 images, Luo Feng still couldn't really understand them at all. So for now, Luo Feng would only focus on understanding the profound concept of the first image, which was in the form of raindrops. Of the 9 images, the raindrop image was the simplest. Shortly after, Luo Feng's mind automatically projected a battle scene, allowing him to apply the use of the space-type origin law in each of his attacks. Unfortunately, Luo Feng could only glimpse it without knowing how to apply it thoroughly, a method that allowed him to integrate the power of the origin law into Yanshin's weapon. If the geniuses wanted to understand the monument again, they could enter the virtual universe network in the area of the Tongtian Bridge or the Heavenly Bridge. Without hesitation, Luo Feng entered the designated Heavenly Bridge. When he entered it automatically, the path that Luo Feng would step on was formed, and a strange bald head could be seen covering the path. Not long after, Changbo appeared there, making Luo Feng feel a bit astonished. In fact, the Changbo in front of Luo Feng right now was his main consciousness, while the ones that had previously met Luo Feng were just clone bodies. This meant that now was the time of the first meeting between the two. So let's get acquainted first to make it more formal. Changbo then explained that the place Luo Feng was about to pass through was the Heavenly Bridge. There were a total of 52 bridges there, symbolizing the 52 Chaos Monuments. There were a total of 27 levels that Luo Feng could pass through. Every time he passed through a level, Luo Feng would get another chance to understand the Chaos Monument he had selected earlier. So far, among the geniuses, Bolin was the only one who could only break through 2 levels in a row, while the others still had no one who could break through the first level. In the past 3 years, Luo Feng himself had practiced hard enough to reach the first level of the universe. So even if Luo Feng couldn't match Bolin's achievements, at least Luo Feng should be able to pass the first level of the bridge. Here, Changbo provided 3 options of opponents for Luo Feng to face, including Warrior, Mental Controller, and Mental Illusionist. Since the Heavenly Bridge was a prerequisite for understanding the Chaos Monument, and since the two were related, Luo Feng also chose the Mental Controller as his opponent in order to gain a deeper understanding of the monument. Luo Feng believed that choosing an opponent with abilities similar to his own would provide him with new experiences that he could apply in the future, and it was still related to the Chaos Monument.
罗峰，不可大意。
Right after Changbo left, the strange bald statue revealed a warrior with a Yanshen weapon and a shuttle, and of course this figure was Luo Feng's clone. This made Luo Feng even more curious. How good was the Yanshen weapon control of his clone? Elsewhere we see Changbo again, watching over the geniuses. At that time, a tall figure of a monkey-faced warrior appeared, who came alone and immediately asked for the results of the Heavenly Bridge examination that the geniuses had attended. Changbo revealed that Bolin had broken through 2 levels, while the others had failed to pass the first level, and now there were only 2 people left to be tested, and one of them chose the 9 Chaos Monument just like the monkey warrior. We returned to Luo Feng, who finally started the match with his clone. In the first clash, Luo Feng, who used the second form of Yanshen's weapon, sword-piercing Sky, was beaten back by his clone. At that moment, Luo Feng wondered how he could not dominate the battle when his clone could only control 3 swords, while Luo Feng had 6 flying swords. Returning to the battle, Luo Feng then displayed the 3rd form of the Yanshen weapon he had learned, which was called the Heavenly Sword. Compared to the 2nd form, this 3rd form had a sword blade with a larger size and diameter. But once again, Luo Feng's attacks were broken when his clone fused the Yanshen weapon into a giant and used it to crush all of Luo Feng's attacks. After seeing the clone's method, Luo Feng realized that the movement the clone had just shown had appeared in his mind when he had tried to understand the Chaos Monument earlier. It showed that the clone had a better understanding of the 9 Chaos Monument compared to the current Luo Feng. The battle ended with Luo Feng finally being defeated. As the scene shifted to the area around Primal Chaos City, Luo Feng, who was sitting alone in the lobby area, was still thinking about his opponent, who was able to integrate the origin law into Yanshen's weapon and create such a powerful attack. Although Luo Feng already knew his opponent's method, he still didn't expect to be defeated so easily. Babata appeared and explained that the failure rate for the first attempt at the Heavenly Bridge was 99.91%. As for Bolin, it's obvious that he's an anomaly among geniuses, so there's no need to compare him with the others. Not long after that, Wuka came and told Luo Feng that Rong Jun had successfully crossed the first level of the bridge. It was certain that Rong Jun was getting stronger. Next, Gailzi came to tell them that Rong Jun had also been accepted as a disciple directly by the king of the Yuanchen Universe Kingdom. There was also Long Yun, who said that the king of the Yuanchen Universe Kingdom was a kind of super being who had reached at least the level of a universe master. Moreover, the king of the Yuanchen Universe Kingdom is the head of the various kingdoms that have formed in this universe. This person must have seen Rong Jun's great potential to make him a disciple. In a condescending tone, Gailzi, who was not happy with Luo Feng, said that Rong Jun was indeed the most potential genius among the geniuses born from the top 5 kingdoms of the universe. And it was very different and not comparable to the human species from an underdeveloped planet. Well, he meant to insinuate Luo Feng. It turns out that the alien is arrogant too. Easing the emotions of Luo Feng, who was upset, Wuka changed the subject to that she had made an appointment with Rong Jun to have a meeting at that place. So then they could study together with Rong Jun. who had successfully passed the first level of the Heavenly Bridge. Sometime later, after fairly consistent training, Luo Feng still couldn't use the method his clone had used at the first level. He could not maintain Yanshen's weapon when he integrated the power of the Law of Origin into it. Luo Feng was confused. Even though what he was doing was the same as what the clone was doing, he still hadn't succeeded yet. It seemed that in order to use this one method, there was no other way but to further understand the Monument of Chaos. From now on, all he had to do was pass the first level first, no matter what. Only then would Luo Feng be able to use the clone's method. Not long after, Luo Feng received an email from Anonymous, saying that Luo Feng's use of the Yanshen weapon was still too rigid. And since he was still in the early stages of understanding the 9 Chaos Monument, Luo Feng was advised to purchase the secret method of floating blood in order to lay a better foundation. Luo Feng wondered, who the hell was the Anonymous who sent this message? In the test of the types on the Heavenly Bridge, the only outsiders who were allowed to see the battles on the bridge were those who had reached the immortal level and above, or at the very least, they were nobles like princes or kings. Luo Feng had previously heard that the Venerable 9 Swords had already left Primal Chaos City, and he had sent his disciple King Long Yu to search for potential geniuses. Was it this person who sent the anonymous message? Luo Feng asked Babata. If that's true, then according to Luo Feng, it's very strange, since there have been many geniuses who have managed to pass through the first level of the Heavenly Bridge. But why would King Long Yu even pay attention to them? I don't think it's him, Babata said. In this city, there are different places for teaching, usually corresponding to the monument that each of them has chosen. At that time, there would be experts who would come to look for disciples who had chosen the teachings of the same monument. Therefore, the anonymous person who sent the message to Luo Feng was probably a veteran who had also chosen the 9 Chaos Monument as his training path. Among the candidates, Babata had 2. One of them was a figure called King Heiwu, or it could be Emperor Zhengyan. If Luo Feng could get a teaching from one of these 2 people, it would be very beneficial for Luo Feng, according to Babata. Babata was sure that the anonymous must be one of these 2 people, since both of them were powerful beings who grew up under the guidance of the warrior named Lian Luo, the founder of the floating blood method. But then, it could be this Lian Luo who sent the message, Luo Feng said. Babata immediately shook his head and explained, Lian Luo himself entered the Universe Society as the #1 genius of his time, and he managed to break through to the immortal level in less than 100,000 years. Unfortunately, that genius died in a great war against a foreign race 100 million years ago, so he can't be the one who sent the message. Whoever sent it, one thing was for sure. Babata also felt that the floating blood method that genius had created in the past could help Luo Feng solve his current problem. It was also very easy to obtain, Babata said. All Luo Feng had to do was redeem it with the points the company had given him beforehand. The price was also cheap, only 800 points. Luo Feng then reminded Babata that Babata had forgotten that earlier, Luo Feng had used all the points to buy equipment and techniques that were useful for the body of his Mosha clone skin. Well, now there was not a single point left. And again, Babata was the one who had encouraged Luo Feng to buy all of this, but suddenly, Babata. After flicking off Luo Feng, Babata, as a girl who doesn't want to be blamed, said that she wanted to think of another way for Luo Feng. But Luo Feng was the one who made the decision, so Babata didn't want to tell him how. At this point, Luo Feng begged and promised that he wouldn't blame Babata anymore. Well, after the argument, Babata explained, most of the geniuses who had lived in this city would usually engrave technique manuscripts in their own rooms after they had attained enlightenment, after they had memorized a certain technique or created it themselves. Lian Luo, the creator of the floating blood method, also practiced in this place, so Babata was pretty sure that there must be traces of his manuscripts left in this room. And that was what they had to find. Together with Babata, Luo Feng had now arrived at the location of the practice inscription, a place that Lian Luo had used in the past when he had created the manuscript of the floating blood method. Upon inspection, Babata was able to find many traces of manuscripts and well-written engravings scattered everywhere. After collecting them until they were in the form of a sentence, a note was found clearly stating that after practicing for 3,000 years, Lian Luo finally managed to comprehend the entirety of the first 3 images in the 9 Chaos Monument and created the secret method of floating blood. After understanding the 4th to 6th drawings, Lian Luo was confident that he would become the strongest immortal in the future. From these notes, Babata felt that Lian Luo was quite a confident person. But what they needed to find out now was the method used by this genius. To Luo Feng, this Lian Luo liked to show off, but he had very high patience. It took him 3,000 years to understand just 3 images. Luo Feng then asked Babata if he could find other records of the genius based on his handwriting. Yes, of course she could. After going through an entire room filled with poorly carved letters, Babata managed to collect a handwriting similar to Lian Luo's. The probability that it was his handwriting was 72%. It could be that Luo Feng could find the floating blood method in it. So will Luo Feng be able to understand the method later? Let's see in episode 145, guys. Okay, thanks to those of you who have watched until the end, and don't forget to support you by subscribe, like, and comment. Final word from me. Bye.